podcast, Let's Talk PWS, a series all about Prader-Willi syndrome. I'm Susie.
And I'm Katie. Let's start talking.
Welcome, listeners, on this very, very special day. Firstly, I want to say a big happy Mother's Day to all the PWS mothers out there. I hope you're having a great day and absolutely getting spoiled because you should be. You are absolute queens. So today's episode is all about celebrating all the hard work that we do, the blood, sweat and tears, and some of the exciting events that we've got happening around the country. Katie, do you want to tell us all about it?
So 4 years ago now, we started running a Prader-Willi syndrome Mother's Day event. And I guess the opening line was, we're holding this event just for us because we're usually the mum in the corner trying to control our kid at every event. So we wanted to have something special just for our mums and where we could really just celebrate and honour all of the work that we do. And it was funny because last year, a few months before we started promoting the Mother's Day event, on Facebook, I found Amanda Griffith-Atkins, and she said that her book was going to be released that year. And Amanda is the mother of a 16-year-old, or he must be 17 now, with Prader-Willi syndrome. And she has written the perfect book for us called How to Handle More Than You Can Handle, which just perfectly describes our journey and our life. So tonight, what we're going to do is actually show the message that she sent to us just to celebrate our mums at our Mother's Day event last year. It's a 15-minute message and we want to share that again because it was just so perfect for us and we're just thrilled that that she did that for us.
That's really nice of her. Why don't we welcome our special guest?
Yes. So we've got Doris, who's a mum of Lewis.
Hi.
And Kate, who's what's your son's name again? Brent, yes. 48 years old.
And 48 years of breakfast in bed have been entertaining to say the least, and you never know what you're going to get in what combination.
Well, at least you get breakfast in bed. That's great.
Yes. At least it makes it to you.
Yeah.
Nearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Lewis gets very excited whenever it's any celebration, especially Mother's Day as well. So, yeah, so Lewis is 7. So, yeah, he gets very excited and usually helps his older sister to make something special. So it's really lovely.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think we really appreciate how important we are in their lives, and they are dependent on us in ways that we can't really understand, and their way of showing us on Mother's Day is pretty special because I think they do appreciate all that we do for them.
Yes, that's right. And so for all the mums out there who haven't heard of Amanda's book or would like a copy of it, please put it in the chat and we would love to send you one for Mother's Day. And with that, we'll go to Amanda's message.
Hello, I am Amanda Griffith-Atkins and I'm so excited to be speaking to you today. I'm going to start with a question. How many of you are parents of a child with PWS? Raise your hand. Now, if you feel you were prepared or equipped for this journey, keep your hand raised. While I can't see the hands, I have a feeling that I know what it looks like. And I bet I'm in good company. Just a little side note here. I have a master's degree in couple and family therapy. I literally took a college class called parenting, and it didn't mention any of this. I thought I knew all about discipline and nutrition and communication. And then I became the parent to a child with a disability. I'm glad you're here. For the next few minutes, I'm going to ask you to do something a little surprising. I'm going to ask you to think about the hard stuff. I'm going to invite you to open a door to the less happy parts of parenting a child with a disability. You probably know that my son Asher has Prader-Willi syndrome. He's 16 now. And as you know, about 1 in 20,000 babies are born with it. It's rare. I don't need to explain the complexities of this syndrome. You're probably all too familiar with it. Do you remember the first time that you heard the words Prader-Willi syndrome? I bet you do. I know I do. We were in the hospital on Asher's 3rd day of life, and a doctor walked in and said that they suspected he had PWS. He had low tone, difficulty eating, and undescended testicles, and a myriad of other challenges. What she actually said was, It's often difficult for babies with PWS to eat, but once they get older, it's the opposite. You have to lock your refrigerator, and they can often eat to the point of death. Excuse me? Are we talking about my precious 3-day-old baby? In an instant, my world changed. We then rode the NICU roller coaster for a month. Ups and downs, good news and bad news. And then finally, we got to bring our baby home. Our 5-pound, fragile, floppy baby. That feeling. You probably had it. Like, you're letting me take this child home? How am I going to survive without the monitors, the beeps and the alerts and the nurses? I felt totally unprepared. My husband and I had Asher when we were 26 years old. I had just finished graduate school. I had $70,000 in student loans, and we had just bought our first condo. Having a child with this level of need was not in the plan. Asher came home from the NICU and had 3 therapies and usually at least 1 doctor appointment each week. He came home with an NG feeding tube, and at 5 months old, he had surgery to insert a G tube. My husband and I made the hard decision for me to forego my career and stay home with my son full time. It really felt like overnight I became a nurse, an OT, a PT, a speech therapist, and a stay-at-home parent. I would log on to social media and see other babies holding their heads up, giggling, and eventually crawling and babbling. I started to feel myself slip away, and I began to lose sense of my identity. I had so much anxiety about my son's well-being, and my life felt so different from anyone else I knew. I saw my friends post pictures of their kids taking their first steps or toddling across the soccer field, and we were focused on trunk strength and growth hormone. I felt isolated and alone. Even though I knew Asher's delays weren't a reflection of my bad parenting, I often got caught thinking if I did more fill in the blank, he'd reach his milestones quicker. I felt like I was never doing enough. I had hopes of nursing my baby, taking him to classes at the library. There were so many special moments that we missed out on. I didn't get to hold my baby in the hospital the way other moms did. Even his first outfits were out of my control. The NICU nurses chose one for him. What caused even more pain was seeing him suffer. I hated having to insert the NG tube when he occasionally pulled it out, or watching multiple nurses hold him down to draw blood out of his tiny veins. He experienced so much trauma in his short life. These losses and traumas add up, and the feeling we experience as a result of this is grief. As disability parents, grief is intertwined in everything. I have a niece who's just 3 months younger than Asher. Still to this day, it's hard to see the stark differences between the two of them. I see her playing sports and having complex conversations. I continue to feel that deep ping of grief every time they're together. When Asher was a baby, I needed support. And while I didn't realize it at the time, I now know that I needed someone to tell me I wasn't a bad mom for having these feelings. I looked for reading material on the topic of disability parenting. I know we aren't supposed to judge a book by the cover, but these books just didn't look appealing to me. Some of them were called Special Needs Parenting, From Coping to Thriving, or Better Than Okay, Finding Joy as a Special Needs Parent, or Embracing the Special Life, Learning to Flourish as the Mother of a Child with Special Needs. I'm sure these books are wonderful, but honestly, I was looking for a book called Please Save Me, I'm Drowning, or something like that. I felt like it was wrong that I was struggling. I really, really love my son, but this isn't what I envisioned parenthood being like. And I felt that I could never admit that without judgment. Early on, I learned that as a disability parent, people tend to feel really uncomfortable when we talk about the hard stuff. I heard a lot of cliche comments, such as kids are resilient, or he doesn't look disabled, or my personal favorite, God gives special kids to special people. Have you heard that one? And while I'm a firm believer in the power of hope, all I wanted was for someone to sit with me and just acknowledge how hard this all really was. I felt like it was wrong that I was sad and angry. I felt like good parents embraced this journey head on with a smile on their face and became disability warriors, wearing the ribbon of their cause. You've probably seen shirts, t-shirts, or memes that say good vibes only. That has kind of become a motto of our generation, hasn't it? The truth is, a lot of people aren't comfortable talking about the hard stuff, the messy stuff that can't be tied with a bow. But in order to process all the trauma and hardship, we have to face our real feelings. The more we try to stuff them down, the bigger they become. It's safe to say that your bad vibes are welcome here. It wasn't until I started connecting with other PWS and disability parents that I felt like I could catch my breath. When Asher was 2, I was finally brave enough to attend a PWS meetup. A few PWS families had a shared speech therapist, and she connected us all. It felt so freeing to connect with other parents who got it. They shared the complex emotions that come from parenting a disabled child. There was no pity, no judgment, no unwanted platitudes, just understanding and honesty. It took me a while, but over time, I've permitted myself to voice my feelings about the grief that comes from raising a disabled child. And I've begun to realize that so many other parents share my feelings. It's complicated, though, isn't it? I know so many of you can relate to the duality of feeling both sadness and love at the same time. If I'm being honest, most days I hate PWS, but also I know it's a part of what makes Asher who he is. And the thing with grief is that it's reoccurring. We feel it each time our child should be doing their first, and ours feels a little different than we imagined. For parents of little ones here today, when does your grief arise? For parents of older kids, what about you? Our kids are complex, intelligent, funny, curious, and so very loved. Asher keeps me in line and on a schedule. He loves people and animals, so many wonderful things. But back to the duality, PWS can also dictate our ability to function as a family. We know all about the realities of this syndrome. It can be dark and scary and life-threatening. As parents of kids with PWS, we have to be hypervigilant all the time. When he's awake, I have to be on. Parenting has been much harder than I imagined. Maybe all parents would say that, but at times it's been scary. I never imagined the medical journey we'd take as parents. I could have never prepared for this. We've dealt with seizures, surgeries, what feels like a million medications, insurance issues, being misunderstood or even ignored. I know many of you have dealt with scoliosis, spine surgery, bracing, eye surgery, GI issues, psychosis. The list goes on. PWS is such a complex diagnosis. Even saying this today in the back of my mind, I think, I hope they know how much I love Asher and that I would do anything for him. Are they judging me because I'm talking about my harder feelings? Am I a good PWS parent? The guilt never seems to go away. When I really step back and think about the parenting journey I've been on, I feel a deep sense of loss. But there's joy. There's a whole lot of anger, sadness, and grief. Grief for him, for me, for my other kids. The truth is, it just doesn't seem fair. But by now, we have all learned that life isn't fair. Maybe you felt all of this too. And that's why I want to encourage you to allow yourself to feel the hard stuff. Talk about it. Don't be ashamed of it. It doesn't make you a bad parent. In fact, it's normal and it's okay. Brene Brown says, I now see that owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing we will ever do. What does it look like to own your story? For me, it looks like talking in front of quite a few people and sharing how hard it is to parent a child with PWS. For you, it might look like setting boundaries, being honest about your family's limitations. It might look like instead of swallowing emotion, you allow yourself to cry and call a friend when you feel discouraged. If you share your struggles, maybe those around you will feel safe to do the same. If you talk about how hard it is to go out to eat as a family or trust the school to keep a close eye on your child, maybe the person next to you will open up about their story. By sharing our struggles, we create space for healing and connection. And aren't those the very things that we need as parents? As I mentioned, Asher is 16 now. He loves Elmo, cats, and talking to his friends. He has apraxia of speech, OCD, and anxiety. Parenting a child with a disability has changed my life in so many ways. It's impacted my marriage, my family, and my community. This isn't what I expected parenthood to be like. It's still hard to find people who get it, but as I continue to process the grief and sadness and anger, I allow more space for hope and acceptance. All of these feelings can coexist. The beauty of life is that it isn't black and white. There are plenty of grays. I can feel love and grief at the same time. I experience gratitude and despair simultaneously. I've learned that this is a world that wasn't designed for people with disabilities. That could be a whole talk in and of itself. I grieve this reality. This system is not fully supportive of our families or our kids. How many times can I tell the teacher that Asher cannot have just one treat in general? I have found that PWS is hard for most people to fully understand, which makes our jobs as parents that much harder. If this resonates with you today, I am so glad you're here because collectively we can create space for the conversation around honest parenting. The conversation that says parenting is life-changing and hard and scary and wonderful and breathtaking all at the same time. I am so thankful for PWS Australia for providing you all with a copy of my book, How to Handle More Than You Can Handle: Caring for Yourself While Raising a Disabled Child. I hope the book is like getting coffee with a friend and makes you feel so supported. I can't wait to hear what you think about it, and I'm wishing each and every one of you a very happy Mother's Day. Thank you.
Well, that was great. What I do love about Amanda is her whole philosophy around giving us permission to feel the hard feelings, and really that's a part of our mental well-being as well. The burden scale is quite high for Prader-Willi syndrome, and we're not really denying any of that. And we're real achievers for just getting up every day and doing it. It's a bit of a hard slog, but just something real quick from our mums here to really encourage us all this Mother's Day.
I think, as I'm a mum to a younger child, don't be afraid to really reach out to the community groups, the Prader-Willi associations in your state. Again, really helps to connect with people that have already kind of been through a lot of that journey, and that I always was really knowledge is power. So I would talk to as many people as I could and get as much information, and then see if that could relate to me. So yeah, I encourage people to talk to the peers and see how they're going with their journeys, and use some of that information for yourself.
Great. Okay.
I just would like to say that every day is a new day. And even if the day's been so horrible, no good day, that tomorrow is going to be a new day and you just start again. And every day is different. And a smile goes a long way. And keep up the good work, all the mums.
Sis?
Absolutely. And in all of this, you get to meet some wonderful other mothers and you forge such great friendships. And my message is, don't let it engulf you. You can still have a little bit of a life and have a little cheeky drink and a cocktail here and there with your Pride of Mum friends. It's wonderful. So, Mother's Day, Pride of Willie, absolutely celebrate it.
Yes.
Looking forward to growing that event year on year.
Yes, 100%. I've never met more powerhouses as Pride of Willie mums and dads, because you're like powerlifting, and all of a sudden they're 10, you're steel, and you've become strong and you've been stretched, and you'll never go back to what you were before them, and you wouldn't go back to it. Like, you just have so much more capacity. So if there's one thing to look forward to, it's just that real power that you do have. And I just want to encourage mums that it's a great attribute.
And there's no exit strategy.
Yeah.
That helps, actually. Breathe. Thanks for joining us tonight, Doris and Kate. We really appreciate it. We do want to thank all of our mums around Australia. You do make the world a better place for all our Pride of Willie kids, and we love you all.
Thanks for having
Oh,
us.
that's lovely, Katie.
Thank you.
That's lovely.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. I wish all the moms a happy Mother's Day.
Lots of love from them, and happy Mother's Day, and I hope that they have a beautiful day.
As we close tonight, don't forget to sign up as members at pws.org.au, where you'll also find ways to donate and sponsor our various projects and initiatives. Please remember to like, follow and share us on our socials. And until next week, let's keep talking.